on. It is on. It's up. It's on. So.
Hello and welcome to Pembroke Cricket Club, where we have the Academy Plus Leinster Women's Minor Cup final.
Between Leinster and YMCA. Please welcome onto the field our standing umpires, Philip Deacon and Conor McElhenney.
And it's Leinster Cricket Club against YMCA, and I'm joined by Peter O'Reilly. Hello, Peter.
Hey, how you doing, Isabel? All good?
I'm great, and very happy to have some fine weather here for the finals.
Yeah, I've noticed that our parasol stroke umbrella has just flown upwards, but we have dry conditions at the moment. We have some pretty grey cloud overhead, but we have a prompt start, which is great.
Yes, so Leinster have won the toss, and captain Joanna Loughran has decided to bat first, so runs on the board in a final, Peter.
Yeah, well, back in my day when we were playing underage cricket, one of my coaches was a guy by the name of Jimmy Boucher, who was a record wicket taker for Ireland, and his words to us about winning the toss were that 9 out of 10 times you batted first, the other time you thought about bowling and then you batted. Runs on the board. You're right, definitely, Isabel. Would you concur with that? Are you a bat first person?
Yeah, I would always bat first, even though I always want to bowl first. It's nice to get out on the field. It's kind of like getting your first touch on the ball. The nerves go away. But yeah, runs on the board is definitely the way to go in a final.
No.
So opening the bowling, we have Kate McAvoy. Short to start and just nudged away by the glove down to third man. Amelia fields it well. A very young team, both sides. That's the captain there, John Loughran, facing up, asking for centre, no doubt.
Joanna's the keeper as well, isn't that right?
She's captain, keeper and opening batter, multi-talented. Kate McAvoy is quite difficult to face. Having faced her myself, she's quite a tall bowler, so bowls it into the pitch, and she does get some movement early on, so she should probably be trouble in these kind of conditions, these overhead conditions where swing will be a factor.
I noticed the first ball really took off, actually, yeah.
One's played down to fine leg, and a misfield might mean a double. Just about saved down here by Amy Collins. And they have run two, so John Loughran back on strike. Both of these teams have won the Minor Cup final a number of times. Leinster 4-time winners and YMCA 3-time winners, so lots of pedigree here. And that's a great take behind the wicket by the wicketkeeper. Joanna Loughran feels very upset, no doubt. She's just tried to pull a bouncer and she's gloved it over her head, and one-handed take by the YMCA wicketkeeper. Fantastic take.
Like you say, Isabel, that high action. Siún Woods is the keeper. Yes, as you say, Isabel, Kate McAvoy's high action does tend to get a bit of bounce, and on that occasion, the ball actually getting quite steep on Joanna, catching the glove on the way through, and an early wicket for YM.
It was really well taken by Siún Woods behind the wicket. It was not an easy take. Here we have the replay. So Joanna Loughran gets in position early, and there you have it, right over her head. She just about manages to take it one-handed with her right hand. Siún Woods, fantastic take.
Great grab, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think Kate Woods will get a lot of, Kate McAvoy will get a lot of joy out of this end in Pembroke. There is a ridge there. It's known to favour bowlers who'll hit the deck hard, and that's what Kate McAvoy does. And Steph Woods comes to the crease at number 3.
New Leinster
experience
back
in
is
Leinster.
Steph Woods.
So Steph Woods has played a lot of cricket. She'd probably be the most experienced player in the Leinster team today. And she'll be looking to anchor this innings for her team. Little dab just backward of point. Gets her off strike early on. It's well fielded by the bowler's sister, Emma McAvoy. Kate McAvoy is the bowler. And what do you think is a par score here, Peter?
Ooh, after how many balls have we had? 5 balls. I suppose Leinster would be aiming to try and get into 3 figures, but I think they'll be doing well. I think, without knowing the depth of their batting too well, honestly, Isabel, I would imagine if they can get to 3 figures, they'd be very happy. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think you'd probably be aiming for 120. That's a run of ball and very defendable in slightly difficult conditions. And she's hit the pad twice, but to no avail. Kate McAvoy, and that's the end to a rather successful over.
Yeah, that was a great start, wasn't it?
Yeah, 5 for 1. Leinster nice and energetic, YMCA nice and energetic in the field, jogging through. That's the good thing about a young squad, Peter.
Plenty of energy. Yeah, I'd know most of the YM girls because both my daughters play in YM, so I recognise most of them. Do also know Orla Bagnall quite well. I'm friendly with her dad. I've seen her play before. She can hit a ball. Like a lot of girls, she's played hockey also. So has an eye for the ball. And as you know, the differences in technique between the two sports can be a challenge for coaches and for player.
Yeah, exactly. And certainly when I'm coaching, I try and harness the hockey and try and let people know when they can use it and when they should try and avoid it. This is Kate McAvoy's sister, Emma McAvoy, and their mother has just walked past in front. No doubt it's a proud day for her. She tries to just tickle that around the corner, but well cleaned up behind the wicket again by Shun Woods.
When you're playing hockey, you take a sort of a broad base, don't you, to hit the ball? So is that something that hockey players who come to cricket try to do also, or is that a potential issue with people planting themselves?
Well, I think it's both. That's just gone for 2 wides down the leg side. That's well called through by Orla Bagnall. I think generally for hockey players they take a bit wider stance. I'm a little bit different because I was cricket first, so I tend to be quite upright. But by and large, the people who sweep, they have that technique. She attempts a cut shot there from Orla Bagnall, but to no avail. Emma McAvoy, no doubt, happy to get away with that shorter, wider one outside off.
A reasonable length she's bowled so far for the first over in a final. She looks pretty steady.
And just as you say that, commentators curse a full toss down leg. But Orla Bagnall only manages to hit it for 1 run down to the bench. Oh, she's coming back for a second. Very well run by Bagnall. She recognised that the fielders had to throw from the boundary and she's taken advantage.
Yep, good game sense there, even if she could have called a little bit louder perhaps. She got back.
Emma McAvoy, you're right, is bowling a very good length at her pace on this wicket. That one's gone through a little bit quicker. Maybe surprised to Orla Bagnall there. So a lot of bowlers on this YMCA team, Peter. They've lots and lots of options.
They do. It'll be interesting to see how it's carved up. You would think that, given the conditions, it's a seamer's day.
Slight fumble from Kate McAvoy and point there means that they've scampered through for a single. Probably not one there if she'd picked it up. A good throw to the bowler and she would have taken the stumps, but Leinster look like they're going to try and push the singles here, which I think is a good ploy. Yes,
so we're 10 for 1 after 2 overs. Probably YM would take that as if they were offered it beforehand. They're probably just on top, but it's early days.
Absolutely, but I think Leinster, if you could take that 1 wicket away, they would have taken 10 after 2 as well.
Sure.
So Kate McAvoy returns for her second over. That's very well bowled, and it's squeezed to square leg, but the Leinster players don't seem to think it's a single, so that's a dot ball from Kate McAvoy.
The problem was there that Orla couldn't really see where the ball had gone, and in that sort of uncertainty, a run was lost.
And another dot. She's got a funny little tick before the bowler bowls. I noticed her back foot kind of pushing behind her. Is that? I've not seen that before. Have you seen that, Peter?
I've just spotted the fact, having seen her play once, that she does set a wide stance, and that actually would, I would say, limit. No run there, just off the pad on the offside. That's another dot for Kate McAvoy. Perhaps having that wide stance sometimes just reduces her shot making options.
An interesting ploy from Kate McAvoy here. She comes around the wicket. It's very nicely bowled. Sometimes bowling around the wicket can mean you finish off your action a little bit better, so that certainly looked to be the case there from Kate McAvoy.
Just seeing she had to sidestep off the danger area, but she managed to do it successfully.
2 excellent balls beating the outside edge there.
So for Orla Bagnall, she now has a problem to solve, and that's 3 dots in a row, I think. A very good line, tight to off stump just outside, coming across from around the wicket. She's got to figure out a way of scoring some runs here.
Excellent over this from Kate McAvoy. And in fact, it's a maiden. So the score remaining 10 for 1 after 3. And she's finding her rhythm now, Kate McAvoy. Can her sister back her up?
This is the question. The other question for the YM skipper is, if I have a plan perhaps to keep Kate McAvoy back for the end of the innings, do I keep her going now after a maiden? It's the captain's dilemma. What do you reckon?
Well, I would imagine there might be a plan before the game. They've got a very experienced coach in Kerry Tomlinson, and I'm sure she would have spoken at length about their bowling order. So I'm not sure there'd be too many decisions being made on the pitch, but I really hope there are.
You're right. It's great to see captains being able to respond to the game as it evolves, rather than sticking rigidly to plans. And you can also, the coach can get messages onto the pitch easily enough as well. I see Kerry down there long on, keeping contact with her skipper.
Another little dab from Steph Woods, and gets a single behind point again. So back into scoring ways for Leinster. Sometimes I think having a plan before the game actually enables you to change things up as you go through. So if you kind of go, this is my general plan, and then things don't go right, you're able to think on your feet because you had kind of mapped out the game in your head beforehand.
Yeah, I think structures are important. It's a wide ball.
I don't mind that though from Orla Bagnall. When you get a short wide one, why not try and see if you can hit it for 4, and if you miss it, it's still a wide.
Yeah. Emma McAvoy again.
She's missed out there, full toss down leg. She'll be dirty with herself there, Orla Bagnall.
And the bowler will be happy to have got away perhaps with. We're obviously not playing ODI wides here. There's a bit of leeway being granted, which is right, I think. It's better.
And as so often happens, a full toss followed by a good length ball, but it's very well run by the Leinster pair out there. I think they'll have to be doing a lot more of that, just trying to tip and run with the quality of bowling on show.
I think if both batters decide that they're going to go every time they hit it, even if it goes directly to a fielder, there's usually a run.
It's well worked into the leg side by Steph Woods. They'll be looking for 2, but they won't get it. It's good fielding, well in on the boundary there.
And well backed by Kate Woods as the throw comes in. Just on bowling plans, Isabel, as a bowler yourself, you like to have an idea when you're going to come on, because it allows you then to get warmed up and to be ready. By the same token, T20, that's a wide ball and the offside.
And they'll sneak through for a single.
T20 means that you have to change your plans on the move, so bowlers have to be aware that plans aren't rigid. But it is nice to go out there, as you say, with a structure in mind.
Yeah, you kind of have a general idea about when you'll be bowling, and if you're going well, you might get a few more overs in one spell, but you know your kind of middle overs, end overs, opening overs. I do think at this level, you don't have to change too much. You build a good line of length, you're going to generally go for very few runs, so you kind of get reward for being consistent. That's the end of the 4th over, and Leinster are 16 for 1. It's great to see these 2 young teams getting to a final. This is kind of the future of the women's game in Leinster, and it's looking very healthy, Peter.
It is. Yeah. It's great that we're actually broadcasting it as well.
It's fantastic.
It's important to get the message out there that cricket's got so much to offer as a sport for young girls at a time when there are so many options as well. So, but as a summer pursuit, very great fun.
Kate McAvoy continues. She snuck that one through down the leg side for a dot. Yeah, no, and actually I think it's great that these girls get to play on a live stream, at this level, because then as they get onto higher teams, they're not daunted by it. That's a good shot, but probably a little bit high. Not sure that's the way to play that ball. It's good length, but the steep bounce of Kate McAvoy's height making that a difficult ball to play.
Interesting that Kate McAvoy's gone back over the wicket. I wonder if the umpire had a word about her about running down the pitch. She was doing very well last over, coming around.
Well, it's just popped over her head there, and it's a good quick single taken there by Orla Bagnall.
Yeah, to mid-off.
I would think that probably, Kate McAvoy knows that when she starts floating it down, that's when she comes around the wicket. So she's played at quite a high level. She's on the Irish under-15 team.
Okay.
Oh, that's almost chopped on from Steph Woods. So that would be a ploy that Aaron Hamilton, the former Irish coach, would have used a lot. If you're not finishing your action, then you come around and it encourages you to do so, and then you can go back over once you've kind of got back into your rhythm.
Okay.
So good to see her using that skill.
Yeah.
She gets this one away. Probably just a single. And it is just a single.
Just paddled around the corner there by Steph for a single.
I'm slightly surprised that we don't have Sophia Nolte in a little bit earlier. She's a big hitter of the ball. Another youngster is on the Leinster under 15, so I look forward to seeing her coming in next. And just popped into the leg side there again by Orla Bagnall. She's kind of found her distance. Not too hard so it goes to long on, but just hard enough that it goes over mid-wicket. That brings up the end of the 5th over. Leinster still 1 down for 19 runs.
It'll be interesting to see now whether we have a change at this end, change in bowling.
5 overs now bowled by YMCA in the Academy Plus.
I don't think we do.
No, after a bit of a confab. It's going to be.
And there we have the score sheet. Orla Bagnall on 7, Joanna Loughran just 2 before she was dismissed by a great caught behind, and Steph Woods on 4. Plenty of batting to come for Leinster as Emma McAvoy continues. That's a tough one for the wicketkeeper to take. Sian Woods just about slowing that down, so it's just a single and it's a bye.
Just came through on the second bounce, the length did her. So it's an all McAvoy approach,
Twin-pronged approach, the McAvoys in their 6th over together.
There's nothing like playing on a team with your sibling.
You wouldn't know anything about that, of course, Isabel.
No. That's well struck by Steph Woods into the leg side. Fielding has come around really, really well.
There's some good cricket there, wasn't it? There was ball was hit out of the middle. There was a possibly a second run. There was good communication between the two batters, and the sweeper out of the mid wicket swooped and picked and sent the ball in over the top to the bowler's end.
That's well hit again. This time from and that's 4 runs over the boundary. Orla Bagnall sent it. She's finding her rhythm now, and our fielder on the offside couldn't cut that one off. That's really well played.
That was really well struck. Noticing a little bit more confidence from Orla there. They actually picked the bat up. But like a lot of people who also play hockey, sometimes the bat starts from the ground and is scooped. But that time she picked the bat up with her arms.
A good return delivery from Emma McAvoy. And a dot for Orla Bagnall. Yeah, the fielder on the leg side there is Jessica Priestley. An excellent fielder, so I'm not surprised she was able to cut off the previous delivery. Across the line, but well fielded in the mid-wicket position. She's just picked out the fielder, unfortunately, there.
She did, but you've noticed in this over how both batsmen are now middling the ball, so their eyes are in, so the onus is on them now to go on, I think.
And it's the same shot. Unfortunately, not taken. It was in the air. Well stopped by the fielder in mid-wicket.
Lucy Deacon there, mid-wicket, has got 2 straight to her, hit hard, and she stopped both of them. Did very well.
She'll be unhappy that she's not taken that catch the second time, but Leinster survive, and it's 26 for 1 after 6.
Your eyesight is better than mine, I must say, Isabel. I didn't realise that hit her on the full, did it? Oh, okay.
She just didn't get her hands to it. I think she was lucky. She kind of just managed to stay in position. Okay. But a 4 saved probably, because that was really well hit. I think we're just checking that she's okay.
Yeah.
There is a 12th there in case she's needed. Molly Streak running on with a drink of water to see if everything's okay.
After 6 overs, Leinster are 25 for 1 in this Academy Plus Minor Cup final against YMCA.
So after 6, 25 for 1, you'd say that both sides would be happy enough with that. YM would probably want another wicket. There have been a couple of kind of half chances that might have gone to hand but didn't quite. But troubling times for them, because Leinster look like they're just hitting their straps.
Yeah, I think it's nicely poised. You can tell that both Steph and Orla, the 2 girls batting, have realised that they need to put the foot to the accelerator a little bit. But they will be, I imagine, will be feeling confident now that the ball was coming out of the middle there, and that over in particular. So we have a change at the far end. This is Amelia. Amelia Flanagan is coming on from the far end. How do we refer to the far end?
Sydney Parade End.
Sydney Parade End.
The Sydney Parade
Amelia
End.
Flanagan's coming on from the Sydney Parade End.
It's the St. John's End, I'm told, by a local, actually, Isabel.
We'll just go by Peter Boyd over there, so we'll keep it consistent.
Sorry.
As so often happens, she begins with a wide. Amelia was away with the Leinster under-15s recently as well, and so we just have a few spots of rain coming.
It was inevitable that we'd get some rain at some stage.
That's well hit by Steph Woods. Just around the corner. Great pick up on the boundary by Lucy Deacon, and she keeps it to a single. Excellent from her.
I'd say probably a run missed there. If they'd gone hard, there were 2 runs there. Well struck by Steph, but just the one. Amelia Flanagan just needs to get her line more onto off stump now if she can.
She doesn't manage it that time. It's just clipped around the corner by Orla Bagnall, but again, just a single. You feel they might take that arm on next time, but it's well picked up by Amy Collins.
Yeah, it's a time like that where you'd like to see both batters communicating between balls. noticing things about the fielders, noticing things about the relative strengths of the throwing arms.
And a full toss, really well picked up, and that's gone straight over the boundary. Steph has absolutely crunched that out of the middle, and Lucy Deakin can't cut it off this time.
Yeah, you have the feeling that Steph likes those balls on her legs. She anything outside off stump, she likes to dab down to the third man, but if it's on the line of her body or on a leg stump, she looks more comfortable, doesn't she?
It's definitely a feature of the women's game. We tend to be quite good down the leg side, between hockey and a lot of balls being bowled down there. We tend to get good at it. It's a much better length from Amelia, but just really good call from Morla Bagnall there. I think that's what you were looking for, Peter.
Early communication. But you're right, Amelia getting her rhythm a bit better now. I think the ball looked like it was more in the right area. A bit straighter, a bit fuller.
And a chance, but not quite going to Kate McAvoy's hand. They're coming back for two. It's just held up in the wind a little bit, giving Kate McAvoy and Point a bit of hope that it might just drop into her hands, but then eventually it's gone over her head. So chance is kind of half coming here. You feel like something might happen soon.
You do get that feeling, don't you? Yeah, that was just carved away over Point, just hard enough to get beyond the fielder.
A lovely shot, just clipped off the legs from Orla Bagnall. Lucy Deakin coming in, picking it up, and good return throw.
They're timing the ball nicely now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I just wonder if they got a message from the sideline, saying, let's get on a little bit here. So after 7 overs, the score is 36 for 1. And I welcome Janice to the bench. Hello, Janice. How are you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Izzy. Isn't this great? I'm a little concerned about the little spots of rain that we're getting, but it's warm. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful ground here in Pembroke. Obviously, I'm a bit biased, but this is great. I think these girls are putting on a show for us here today.
36 for 1 off 7 overs.
It's completely wide as if a change of bowling at the Wheelfield Road end.
Kate Woods.
And Kate Woods coming on for Emma McAvoy. Yes, you're right. It's great to have a minor cup final on here. That's a fantastic ball to start from Kate Woods. I'm surprised she didn't appeal there. There must be something I can't see there. It looked like it was just straight onto middle stump, but a really good start from here. Just a Yorker length first ball up.
Yeah, Kate is the youngest player, I think, on the pitch. She is 13.
Again carved away, but she's not as lucky this time. Orla Bagnall, that one's gone to point and is well taken in that point position. So wicket straight away from Kate Woods, and the change up in bowling has paid off early.
Yeah, well done the skipper, bringing on the change of bowler and immediately getting a wicket in the second ball. Orla had looked very comfortable, I was going to say, maybe a little bit stuck in her crease, so a ball that's outside the off stump, she sort of a flash of the blade and caught backward point. It's a shame. She had done well. She got 16 runs. She did well.
Yeah, she did bowl well. She looked a little bit scratchy at the start, which is understandable. But yeah, she really came into her own a few overs in. But a new batter is Sophia Nolte, and Sophia Nolte hits a big ball. She's well able. She's on the Leinster under 15s as well, and yeah, she hits the ball really well. She's another hockey player.
It's one thing actually I've been watching that is terrific, is that they're not so obvious hockey players. They're not just playing everything to leg. All these top 4 that we've seen so far have got a good defence, and they're able certainly to work the ball to leg. That's the most natural, but if that's where the space is, then why not?
Absolutely. I mentioned the playing hockey because I find that when the girls play another sport, they're more willing to kind of have a swing at the ball, but as you said, with good technique, so that's great to see. That's defended by Steph Woods. So Sophia Nolte not facing straight away as she comes in. The batter's crossed as that catch went up.
Good ball, good defence. Cricket the winner.
So Janice, this is your home ground. What would you say is a par score for this final?
Ooh, I'd say 80, 90 maybe.
Okay, so over 100, and you're probably going to win the game. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on the conditions, depends on the Leinster bowling, but I would think 80, 90 is quite defendable, yeah.
And the full toss length is what Steph Woods likes, and she's clipped that out to the leg side. Jessica Priestley tidying up, so it's just a single. And very tidy over so far from Kate Woods.
Yeah, she's certainly bowling to her field, and Steph Woods likes to work it to leg. Full toss, it deserved to work to leg, but they've a sweeper out.
That's an excellent ball to finish the over from Woods, and that means it's 8 overs gone, 37 for 2.
Yeah, she's got a very nice bowling action, Kate Woods. She took her best figures so far, 1 for 6 off 3 in the cup match against Pembroke, which is fantastic. They're fantastic bowling figures at any level.
As you say, no matter who you're playing against, it's very difficult to bowl as tightly as that. So good signs for YMCA is that their first 4 bowlers indeed, are looking like real talents. And we have the replay there of the wicket. Well taken catch in the point region. As Amelia Flanagan continues. Another misfield down at fine leg means they come back for 2. And I like to see the point fielder coming across and helping out the throw there. Really good thinking from Kate McAvoy.
Yes, some of these girls are quite young, and obviously the boundary is a full-size boundary because the senior final is on later on this afternoon, and it's good for them to play on a full-size pitch. And I mean, players nowadays are well aware that you might have to help out.
Yeah, it's certainly a skill that would be used as the ball's worked into mid-wicket. Zoe tidying up in mid-wicket.
Excellent bit of fielding. She had to pick the ball up on the mat here in Pembroke, and it bobbled, so she kept her eye on it, got her body behind it. It's really good technique.
And so Sophia Nolte faces Amelia Flanagan for the first time. Oh, and that's a good length to start, but it looks like it was going down leg. A few nerves, no doubt, for Sophia as she looked back towards the umpire to see would she survive that shout.
Yeah, it was a very good ball. She gave it a lot of air, and it was pitched right up there.
That's well worked, but very good pickup from Zoe Hoffman, and that
Ooh.
could be close.
That's excellent fielding. That really is excellent fielding. The pick up and throw. She's now got the batters in 2 minds. They're not going to run one to her again.
They'll certainly think twice, but they the Leinster batters missed out on a trick there. They could have taken a second run off the deflection, but I think they were too worried about the possible wicket.
Yes, I think she was counting her blessings.
So a good start to the over from Amelia here. Very short one, but it's just been clipped up in the air, and that is a very good wicket from Amelia. I'm not sure she meant to bowl it that short and to try and get that dismissal, but Zoe Hoffman was up to the task and well taken from her in mid-wicket.
Yeah, sometimes, as we know, Izzy, the bad ball can get the wicket, and in this case it certainly did. Steph Woods didn't really get hold of it. It was probably the right shot to play, but she needed to give it a good old welly to get it over the infield, and she picked out probably the best fielder on the pitch.
Big shout, but I think you could be right. I think as well, the ball just stuck in the pitch a little bit, so she had to wait for it, Steph, and she just ended up clipping it up. So Steph Woods has to go for 15, a well-made 15, and Sophia Nolte is joined here by her good friend Katie Dillon, and these two are thick as thieves, so they'll be happy to be batting together.
Great, so the running between the wickets is going to be top-notch.
Well, either that or they'll have a fight about the running between the wickets, so we'll have to see. Both of these were on tour with me recently in England, and they're quite a funny pair, so and very, very good talent. So I'm delighted to see them playing in a final today.
That's great. I was watching the results coming in from that trip, and certainly we had a couple of players here from Pembroke who went on it. What a fantastic opportunity for these young players, and you can see the fruits of that type of development from Cricket Leinster happening here today.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm really happy that a lot of them were on that trip because they wouldn't play on grass wickets a lot, and playing in the final and not having played in a grass wicket would have been difficult, but both of these players would have played 3 matches over there. As Katie Gillen straight away off the mark with a little sweep around to fine leg. And she looks for a second, but Sophia Nulty's very firm in her no. That brings about the end of the over. So 9 overs gone. Leinster are 42 for 3.
Yeah, it's a very good score. It's a very good score. The bowling is tight, but the batting is also good. They're working the ball around the wicket, particularly to leg, but if that's where it should go, that's where it goes. I'm very impressed. And the other thing that I'm delighted with is that you and I both work in second level education, cricket in schools, and that to see these girls continuing on from schools cricket into club cricket is really satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, so important that they go from schools cricket into club cricket, as that's where most of the top level players learn their skills, really. So schools is where you kind of get them into the game, and then you hope that they join a team. So Kate Wood's continuing now from the Willfield Road end, and Katie Gillen facing up. A full toss to start, but she hasn't quite caught that one. Oh, and as we said, some miscommunications, but Katie Dillon survives. Sophia Nulty was having none of that no call there. She just ran through, and it was Katie Dillon would have been in lots of trouble at the bowler's end if Kate Woods had managed to collect the ball. A good throw from Kate McAvoy would have seen the end of Katie Dillon before her innings began.
Yeah, it was an opportunist run. A little bit of backing up maybe could have been slightly better, but these things happen.
Another full toss, but it's better directed this time from Katie Dillon to square leg, as Jessica Priestley once again picks up flawlessly and straight in over the top. So really good to see 2 young captains out there as well. The decision making in women's cricket, sometimes you can find the younger players just skating along with their older counterparts taking all the control. So having to make decisions is really crucial for their development. Shorter one, and it's just sliced away by Sophia Nulty. She'll look to come back for a second, and she is coming back for a second. Really good call from Sophia Nulty. She backed herself to beat the ball there.
Excellent cricket all round. Very good to run 2 and to put the fielders under pressure.
Yeah, fours are going to be difficult to come by. The outfield a little bit wet, and the girls maybe not hitting the ball as hard, being quite young. Another short ball from Kate Woods, but Sophia Nulty unable to make contact that time. So we're almost halfway through the innings, and you'd say that Leinster possibly on top, although if they lose a couple more wickets, they might be in a little bit of trouble later on in the innings.
Yes, I think the trick is obviously to keep wickets in hand. 3 down after 10. You'd be happy enough with that, I think. 47 is good. The bowling has been tight and the fielding has been very good. Maybe put them under a little bit more pressure in the field, but no, it's been excellent.
That's really well struck from Sophia Nulty. Lovely placement between extra cover and mid-off, and that one's just flown over the extra cover boundary. A great shot to bring up the end of the over for Leinster, and the score after 10 is 51 for 3.
Yeah, a super shot by Sophia Nulty. Excellent shot. She got into position, full swing of the bat, and the ball going just wide mid off for 4. Excellent.
That boundary brings us to the halfway mark of the first innings of this minor cup final.
The sun's out, is he?
Here in Sydney Bray. Leinster 51 for 3 off 10 overs.
Yeah, we had a few raindrops about 10 minutes ago, and I was worried that we'd have to scurry inside, having our umbrella taken away from us after that gust of wind took it. Oh, well played by Katie Dillon to point, but they've decided not to take a run, and it's Amelia Flanagan continuing here. So this is not the Sydney Parade Road.
No, this is the Willfield Road end.
This is the Willfield Road end, but the
and St. John's.
St. John's. Well weighted from Katie Dillon, but again, only able to hit it to the fielder.
Do you know what's great for these two teams is that this minor cup is being played here today in tandem with the senior cup final later on this afternoon. And what's great is that Leinster have got behind this and have made a whole occasion out of it.
That one's just edged to third man by Katie Dillon. Really good bowling from Amelia Flanagan. It's her best over so far. Yeah, I completely agree. It's actually in some ways really nice that it's the same two clubs in the two finals, because no doubt these two teams that are playing the minor cup final will stay on for the senior cup final and support their more senior players. A bit shorter from Flanagan there, but Sophia Nolte not interested.
Yeah, it shows the depth that both YMCA and Leinster have. This is YMCA seconds. They have two ladies teams, two women's teams, whereas Leinster have three.
And she's had a good swing at that, but it's a wide delivery. I don't mind that from Sophia Nolte. That's an area of strength for her, as we saw in the previous over. So she'll have a go at anything wide. And again, an edge down to third man. A loud call from Katie Dillon. They don't want any more mix-ups after the near calamity previous over.
That's something really that should only happen once, and then you go down the middle and you have a little chat, and you make decisions that that's not going to happen again.
That's well struck by Katie Dillon, and great pickup from Emma McAvoy on the boundary there. She's attacked that so well, Emma McAvoy, and that brings the close of the 11th over. Leinster 54 for 3.
It's very impressive here is the standard of overall cricket. The standard of fielding is excellent. YMCA seconds are coached by Kerry Tomlinson. She plays on their first 11. And it's nice to see that the players from the first are coaching the teams lower down. Leinster thirds are coached by Sophie McMahon, Irish international. And again, they're passing on their skills. It's very good. It means that they're also looking at their own game while coaching. But the standard of cricket here is excellent. If you're in the area, come on in.
Yeah, for those of you joining us, this is the Academy Plus Leinster Women's Minor Cup final. Leinster have won the toss and are batting first, and their opposition are YMCA. Yeah, it's great to see two female coaches. We don't have enough female coaches in any sport really in Ireland, so seeing those senior players become coaches and kind of show the younger girls that that's a path they can take. A wild shot from Katie Dillon there, but she survives it. It's just taken the edge and gone down to third man. Yeah, if you know, when I was growing up, there weren't really many female coaches, so you didn't really see it as an avenue you could go down. It's obviously something I've gone into, and I'm delighted to see more and more people taking that on.
Yeah, and I think again it's an initiative from Cricket Leinster and also from Cricket Ireland to obviously employ more female coaches and to get ladies to develop that skill.
Well worked to the leg side from Sophia Nolte. Quick single, good communication between the two, so that earlier blip looks like it's in the rear view mirror. And this is where tiredness might come in for Kate Woods. Only young, as you said, she's only 13. Good figure so far, 12 for 1 from 2.3, but she'll no doubt be getting a little bit tired.
I'll be interested to see as well if her sister bowls. She's keeping wicket at the moment. I know she's quite a tidy bowler as well.
Just as I say that, the full toss wide comes out, so it could be coming into play now. I know Shun's had issues with her knee in the last month or so that could possibly be why she's keeping wicket rather than bowling. She's got away with a short delivery there. I just wonder if she's getting some movement away from the bat there.
Sometimes the slower the ball, as we know, it's more difficult to get away. You have to be confident in your foot movement. Make sure you keep your head well on the ball, get over the ball.
That's well struck into the leg side by Katie Dillon, but she didn't get quite as good a contact as she maybe would have liked. Again, the stump's being hit, this time by Kate McAvoy, but Katie Dillon was well home at that point.
Yeah, good cricket all round here.
So what can Sophia Nolte do at the last 8.1 overs here? She likes to have a big swing, so that could be coming soon. There it is, but she didn't quite make contact. Another wide.
Yes, she's well aware of the dot ball situation, obviously, through coaching and just her general knowledge, and she certainly is. Her intent is there to get out and have a good swing at the ball. It's good to see. She shouldn't let the bowler get on top.
No, correct. That's well worked into the leg side. Excellent single from Sophia there. She thought about trying to whack it to leg, but her the good angel on her shoulder obviously told her this isn't the ball. She survives, and that brings the score to 60 from 12 for Leinster.
Yeah, that was very, very impressive actually by Sophia. She realised that you don't have to hit the leather off the ball to get the runs, and she was clever enough to at least get a single off the ball, off the last ball of the over.
That's 12 overs of this the Academy Plus Minor Cup final between Leinster and YMCA. Leinster 61 for 3.
Sorry, I apologise, as you might have heard over the PA. The score is in fact 61. Amelia Flanagan again returning. That was a rather strange shot down leg side, but Siún Woods did really very well to collect that after it hit the underside of Sophia Nolte's bat. And Amelia really finding her length and line here today. It's a good call from Katie Dillon.
Yeah,
It's
very
She's
good.
really looking for every single.
Yeah, it was a super call. She was well aware of where the ball went and how fast it was travelling, and she knew that she was going to make it to the danger end. Her partner trusted her and went as soon as she heard the call.
Fuller one outside off. Katie Dillon just looking like she's playing within herself a little bit here. Looks like she's a little bit afraid to get out, so I hope that she breaks the shackles soon, plays the shots that we know she can.
Yes, I would think the call might possibly come from Sophie McMahon, who's here in the changing area, as you might say, with 7 wickets in hand, 7.3 overs to go. They might want to accelerate a little.
Well, that's a very good call from Sophia Nolte, but that one's just popped a little bit as Jessica Priestley has a shy at the stumps, but doesn't quite manage to hit. Really good catch from Amelia Flanagan over the stumps there, though.
Yeah, very good cricket. They should be looking for at least a run of ball here, Izzy, don't you agree?
Absolutely. That's some invention from Sophia. Siún Woods gives chase, takes off the glove, and again, good cricket. Kate McAvoy coming in from point to take the stumps.
A little bit straying with her line. It's just a little bit wide outside the off stump.
Yes,
But again, this is her fourth over.
This is her 4th over.
Yeah, and
So
in a row.
tiredness kicking in a little bit, possibly. You could see that she was determined to finish the over on that delivery. And so a good spell from Amelia Flanagan. She's taken 1 for 25 from 4, and the score is 66 for 3.
And it's very good. 66 for 3 off 12. Anybody would be satisfied with that so far. Sorry, from 13. You'd be quite satisfied with that yourself, I think.
And there we have the bowling figures. It's Kate McAvoy and Emma McAvoy opening up. Kate McAvoy very miserly. She's got to bowl 3 overs so far. She's taken 1 for 8 from her 3. And we have Emma McAvoy. She's the only bowler without a wicket, but she's only gone for 17 in her 3. And Amelia Flanagan and Kate Woods both taking a wicket each. So Lucy Deakin brings herself on from the Willfield Road end. Sophia Nolte prepares to face a new bowler. Plenty more cricket down here in Pembroke. If you're in the area, do come on down. Oh, and a big swing first ball. And that's unfortunately misjudged by Kate Woods in mid-on.
It nearly happened again. Izzy, the change of bowling nearly brought a wicket. Lucy is a fast bowler. Right arm fast. Her best figures would be 1 for 12 or 4 against Railway, which is, again, super bowling.
Bit of away movement there means the ball's just crept over the wide line. But she won't be too unhappy with that because she knows there's a bit in it for her there. Lucy.
It's nice to hear the players on the pitch all giving each other encouragement. Like a bit of chirping. You a chirper, Izzy?
Absolutely not. That's much better ball there. Very full, but the away movement means Katie Dillon just leaves it alone. So possibly brought herself on to keep things tight as we come into the 14th over, and it's just under 7 overs left to go for Leinster to pile on the runs. Slightly full that time. Katie Dillon goes onto one knee and works it to leg. They look for 2, but they are coming back for 2. A wilder throw than usual from Jessica Precy. Hands on head. She's disappointed with herself. Should usually get that one straight back in over the top, but sometimes the pressure of someone running 2 to you means that you do throw to the wrong place.
I was just about to say that sometimes the bats running like that puts the fielder under pressure. They take their eye off the ball.
Another wide, unfortunately. That away swing just costing YMCA.
Yeah, Lucy just needs to change her. She just needs to change her line very slightly. She could move in closer to the stumps. She might consider coming round the wicket just until she gets her line right.
Another full toss, clipped into the leg side. I think they'll come again for 2. Oh, and again, miscommunication. Sophia Nolte scampers through, but
oh, lads,
Lucy's not able to collect the ball at the bowler's end, and Jessica Precy again disappointed with herself out there.
Yeah, I
living
think
dangerously here, these two.
Absolutely. There was a little bit of yes, no, will you? I'm not sure, but they were safe in the end. 2 runs.
So getting themselves going a little bit here, Sophia and Katie. That's excellent bowling. I don't know, I think they might have heard the sound of the bat hitting the ground, but it's always worth a shout. I like to hear it when the girls appeal because too often they don't appeal when it's out, so rather that way around.
Absolutely. If you hear anything appeal, absolutely. I heard something here. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, what they're there for. I heard something here. It must have been the bat hitting the ground.
Excellent bowling again. They scamper through for a single. It's the bowlers then Kate McAvoy will throw at, but Katie Dillon's equal to the task as we finish the 14th over.
Yeah, that's very good cricket. Good over by Lucy Deakin. A couple of she just is a little bit of struggling a little bit with her line, but I'm sure she'll get that right. And there's definitely been a change of mood by the bats. I think they've got the word you need to sort of move along the score. And now I would amend my par score here now to maybe 120, 130, certainly with wickets in hand. They're 74 for 3 off 14.
So I think there might be a message in a bottle from skipper Joanna Loughran here. She's taking a drink out to the 2 girls in the middle. She might be saying, keep it going the way you're going, break the shackles, go for more boundaries. And yeah, only she will know.
Watch this space.
So I'm not sure we'll see a huge difference in how they approach the game, but only time will tell. So 6 overs to go.
It used to be in the olden days that if you were going too slowly, a pair of gloves was sent out, and you knew if a pair of gloves came out from the sideline that you really had to motor it along or get out. Cruel. It's a cruel game.
That's it. Amelia Flanagan, excellent ball. Yorker length just creeps under the bat of Katie Dillon, and that message obviously was to attack, and it hasn't paid off for Leinster.
No, a super ball. It was dead straight. Lovely bowling action, dead straight down the wicket, middle stump. Katie, who'd been going along quite nicely, she just played and missed, head in the air. Maybe feet were sort of stuck in the crease.
It's a difficult length. She had decided she was going for more runs there, Katie Dillon, and unfortunately for her, it was the wrong length to have a swing at. So Sophia Nolte is joined by Rianne Slevin. She's coming in at 6. And here we have the replay. Just a little bit of inwards movement. That's what did for her in the end, actually. I think Katie Dillon hasn't so much snuck under her bat as between her bat and pad. Lovely bowling from Amelia Flanagan.
Absolutely excellent. It was a little bit harsh there, probably on the bat. It was a very, very good ball that did for her.
And so it's the second wicket for Amelia Flanagan.
The new bat for Leinster, number 77, Rianne Slevin.
Yeah, it's weird on the schedule. It says 8:14 and 15 to 20. So more supporters are starting to come into the ground, which is fantastic to see. A lot of Leinster and YMCA supporters, but also people from the home, or I shouldn't say home, but the hosting club, Pembroke, coming in to show their support.
Absolutely. If you're in the area, come on in. It's a lovely afternoon. There's maybe a little bit of rain in the area, but nothing that's troubling us. Come down and have a coffee and watch some terrific women's cricket.
It's a lovely temperature, actually. Kind of not quite shorts weather, but so a loose one to start her off for there for Rianne. She's just gloved it around the corner, and Sophia Nolte's calling her through for a second. The throw not quite strong enough to get in, and it's really well run by the two Leinster players.
Excellent cricket. They recognised again that the fielder out here on the boundary, it's quite a long way, and she was going to have help to get the ball in. 2 runs.
Really good comeback from Flanagan there. That she's just pushed that one through a little bit quicker.
I'm very impressed with her bowling. This is her 5th on the trot, so there's no sign of tiredness yet. Oh!
A bottom edge there from Rianne Slevin means that she's played it onto her own stumps, and a 3rd wicket for Amelia Flanagan. Delight for the YMCA players, and we did speak about a few quick wickets possibly changing what the score might be likely to be. So here we have Elena McGrath coming in at 7. Quite a smart player, Elena. Not so much a big hitter, but she'll work the ball around, and she'll look to get her partner Sophia Nolte on strike. Sophia is the set batter, so it's probably a good plan anyway.
Yeah, that was very unlucky. Very unlucky for Rianne Slevin. She was trying to work the ball out through the covers, and just very unlucky. Got a bottom edge, dragged the ball back onto the stumps.
So things looking very different now in the 15th over. Leinster went into it having lost only 3 wickets, and now they're 5 down for 76. A lot of support for Elena McGrath here in the cheap seats in front of the clubhouse.
Her family's in.
It's their fan club, I think.
We have little spots of rain, Izzy. I'm worried. Although it's breezy, so whatever rain we get, it should move along quickly.
Elena, solid defence to start her off. Just feel the ball on the bat. We've hit the ridge there and to finish the 15th over, and now Leinster is 76 for 5.
That's very well bowled by Amelia Flanagan. She's done Trojan work from the far end to restrict the score to 76 and to get the wickets, get a couple of wickets, very important wickets. Now we're going to give Izzy a rest, and we welcome back to the commentary area Peter O'Reilly.
Thank you very much, Janice. It's good to be back. I agree with you. Very impressive bowling there from Amelia Flanagan. Lovely, easy action, and rewarded for her perseverance with a couple of wickets in quick succession. So, 16th over, Lucy Deacon from this end. I understand may have bowled earlier in the innings, but for the fact that she took a nasty whack on the wrist earlier on. Well, I think it was Steph Woods drilled the ball to mid-wicket. This rain getting slightly heavier now, Janice.
Yes, it is. Yes, she did. She got a knock, I think, on the wrist, and she just had to take a few moments to gather herself, which is understandable, and she did, and very wise to not bring herself on early.
So a full toss there from Lucy Deacon on a leg stump, kept down very well by Katie Dillon to pick off another run. 78 for 5. You were thinking 120, 125, Janice?
Yes, I amended it from 80, 90 to 120, 125, but again, it's all a movable feast, Peter.
Is Lucy Deacon again. Just dragged it down a little bit wide on the offside. YMCA will be looking to reduce the number of extras now in the final overs. Tight run here.
Went for the direct hit, a little roll in from mid-on, short mid-on, and she missed. They made it. It was a quick single.
That was a call by the non-striker very much. Sophia Nolte convinced that there was a run.
Yeah, it was
Elena perhaps a little bit surprised to be called for the single.
Nice shot through the covers. Very nice shot through the covers, picked up and fielded. They only get one run.
Yeah, well fielded by Zoe. Deep cover.
They're showing no signs of coming off for the rain, which is great. The umbrellas are up, but we're not going off.
As you mentioned, there's a bit of a breeze there, so hopefully it'll blow over. A wide from Lucy Deacon again down the leg side, not quite completing her action, trying to put the ball there, it looks like, rather than actually bowl it there. So, but we must mention, of course, the fact that she did get that nasty bang on the hand earlier in the innings. I wonder if that's affecting her.
That's a better line. Elena McGrath struggled there, just struggled to play it to mid-on or play it to the onside, and it sort of got caught on the top of her pad, but it was a better line from Lucy Deacon.
Yeah, you can sense now that Sophia Nulty's trying to get back on strike as the batter who's been in longer and has her eye in, whereas Elena's just new to the action. And that was a good shot by Elena. She's hit it wide of mid-on for a single, well fielded by Kate Woods.
That's the end of the over, and it's 85 for 5 off 16. Again, Peter, I'm very impressed. These players are very young, and they're first of all, they're coping with this situation. They probably wouldn't have played in a cup final like this, where it's in tandem again with the Ladies Academy Plus Senior Cup final. There's a crowd, there's all the setup with the tents and the live streaming, and they seem to be coping very well with that.
They do, and it's also it's a credit to their coaches, Sophie McMahon, a fairly young coach. You notice lots of good habits in terms of calling from the batting point of view. The running between the wickets and the calling has been positive. And the quality of the fielding generally has been very good. The quality of the catching has been good. The quality of the backing up has been impressive as well. So it's a good standard of cricket.
Yeah, Kate McAvoy has come back on from the St John's end. She was very tidy up at the top of the innings. I think her first 3 overs she went for 8.
That's impressive in T20 cricket, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very impressive.
She just speared that one in at the pads as a leg by to get Sophia Nulty back on strike.
Well bowled. Again, good appeal. Nice to see girls appealing. Kate is a fast-paced bowler. She's on the Leinster under-17 team. and is doing very well here.
Yes, I noticed Isabel mentioning earlier on that girls can be sometimes a little bit reluctant to appeal. What's that about, do you reckon, Janice?
I'm not sure. I'm not afraid of rejection.
It's chipped into the offside for a single, which I think at this stage of the innings YM would be happy to see runs scored in singles, and the odd dot here and there. It's the boundaries that you want to be stopping.
It's coming down quite heavily now, the rain, even though it is sunny, interestingly. I see the great Dale McDonough's team are over by the covers. But again, no signs of anybody coming off the pitch.
You'd imagine the umpires would like to try and get the innings completed if possible. The girls won't mind staying out there with a bit of rain.
The issue might be if that's the same wicket that's going to be used for the Senior Cup final, and I'm sure it is. There might be concern there. Well played. She hit the ball over the infield. Good shot. They're running two. Oh, a direct hit, and she would have been out, I think. Oh, they're running three. There's a little bit of overthrows, misfield. Well done, the bats.
Yeah, you see there the bit of pressure applied by the batters and the fielders struggling a little bit. Would have liked to have seen Kate McAvoy standing behind the stumps for that one. No excuse for not being back at your stumps, but ball's coming in hard. It's a slippery ball now, and with a bit of pressure applied, a three in total for Leinster. We're now 91 for 5 in the 17th.
YM need to keep alert in the field and sort of tighten up. That was a little bit sloppy.
Second run on the misfield. You'd imagine it might have something to do with the little rainfall, which mercifully seems to have stopped. The sun is out again here at Sydney Parade.
Yes, Peter, you and I were under severe threat of being electrocuted here, I think.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the insurance deal here at Pembroke Cricket Club, Janice.
There's no insurance.
That's reassuring to know. As you probably hear in the background there, Leinster 93 for 5 with 3 overs remaining. We have another change at the pavilion end. Emma McAvoy.
Again, we're back to the opening bowlers now at both ends. A very clever captaincy, good captaincy. And the captain would hope now that they would tighten up the runs.
Skipper's got her maths right as well.
Oh.
In that Emma will get to bowl the final 2 overs from this end, but there's another sloppy bit of fielding there with an overthrow. And these, as you know, Janice, are the runs that will make the difference at the end of the day if it goes down to the wire.
Absolutely. Every single run counts in a cup final. Runs on the board, as many of them as you can get. Big swing and a miss. Wicketkeeper misses it as well, and we get one by.
Yeah.
The batters are showing their intent here. I think their coach, Sophie, would say, come on, girls, let's move the score along. We're looking for 120, 130 here if we can get it.
And conversely, Kerry Tomlinson, the YM coach, would ask her girls to tighten up a little bit in the field. There's a few little sloppy mistakes in the final overs here which they can cut out. And a wide ball from Emma McAvoy.
The bowling team now are sisters. Emma and Kate are sisters. Emma would be considered a medium pace bowler. She's on the Irish under-15 team, Peter, and her best is 5 for 10 off 4 against Rush. What bowling figures? That's a cracking set of figures in any standard.
It is very impressive.
Yeah. I wonder, do they have competitions over tea? My bowling's better than yours. No, mine's better than yours.
I think you need to ask that question to Isabel. She knows all about sibling rivalry. It's better.
Oh.
Well fielded by Zoe Hoffman out at deep cover.
It was a super shot by Sophia Nolte. The ball was outside the off stump. She stepped across and whacked it. For me, it sounded as though it was going to go all the way to the boundary, but it's a very long boundary here in Pembroke. They only got one run for it, but it was a super shot.
And it was a run that brings up 3 figures for Pembroke. That's the applause that you heard in the background. Another single. There's a run of ball here to be had, isn't there?
Definitely. They should at least be looking for one off every ball, and obviously the bad ball goes for more.
Mm-hmm.
But again, to get over 100 here in the Academy Plus Minor Women's Final is good. It's very good.
My reckoning, Janice, that's another dot ball outside the off stump at the start, was that anything in 3 figures would be a bonus, especially batting first. Because if you compare these overs where there's obviously pressure on the batters to accelerate it, it's nothing compared to the pressure that the team batting second are going to feel when it comes down to the final overs.
Ooh.
That's another well bowled, good line of length outside off stump.
4 byes then.
Up too early and 2 byes. More unnecessary runs.
In fairness, in Shuan Wood's defence, I think the ball stayed a little bit low, and it went through her legs. Again, 2 byes. Yes, I agree with you. Again, runs on the board in a cup final, you immediately have the opposition under pressure. They're 103 for 5 off 18, 2 overs to go. Will they get over? Will they get to 120? I think if we'd said at the beginning 120, you'd be happy with that.
Well, in fairness to Isabel, that was what she decided was par, and I thought anything in 3 figures was a success. Nice little partnership here between Elena and Sophia. 2 overs left, 12 balls. I'm going to guess about 118.
Well run.
I'm impressed by Sophia Nolte's calling, I must say. She's very positive as a runner between the wickets.
Yes, and her partner, Elena, is trusting her implicitly, so she goes as soon as she hears the call. Yeah, she is doing what she's told, yeah.
Beautifully timed into the offside by Sophia Nolte. Probably too well timed. Just the one at the moment. No overthrow. Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely looking to get at least a run of ball here. It's a beautiful day now.
When that sun comes out, it's beautifully warm. Yes.
Peter O'Reilly's taking off his jacket.
That's all, though.
Oh, again, she just clipped it. Shortish ball outside the leg stump. She just clipped it there. If they'd had a short square leg, possibly would have been out, but they get one run for it.
Just angled into her rib. She picked it off beautifully. No danger of any catch there. It was with the fielder back at square leg. And she gets Sophia Nolte back on strike, which I think is the name of the game for Leinster in these last couple of overs. Another wide. I haven't seen the scorecard for a bit, but I'd be interested to know what the extras count is. Always a key factor in these games.
Well done. Good
Risky
running.
Run, but they got away with it. Just punched into the just dropped into the leg side. The fielder picked the ball up cleanly, but probably needed a direct hit.
Yeah, it was a good ball, and she played it well into the cover or mid wicket, and they took a cheeky little single, really. Push. Yeah, I think if they were pushing the first run a little faster, they might possibly get 2 there, although I think they probably know the fielder better than I do, and her throw-in was excellent.
Or the alternative is that Elena was happy just to get Sophia back on strike as the stronger batter, the batter that's been in longer. Last ball of the over coming up, I think. That's nicked through where first slip would have been. Amelia Flanagan Sweeps around third man and fields well, gets the ball in quickly. That's the end of the penultimate over of the innings.
Interestingly, the call was two. The call was two there from Elena McGrath, but Sophia was having none of it. She keeps the strike for the last over.
110 for 5 from 19.
Over brings the end to Kate McAvoy's spell of 5 overs as she takes 1 for 21.
And the end of Kate McAvoy's spell, 1 for 21
With just the 1
from
over
5
remaining
overs.
in their innings, Leinster 110 for 5.
I think the cheers are from the Leinster first 11 who are here ahead of their own cup final later on this afternoon. And their thirds are 110 for 5, and this is the last over in the Academy Plus Minor Cup final.
That's well bowled. Good full length from Emma McAvoy. That's where you want to get it at this stage of the innings. Up in the block hole. Just a little straighter and you're in business.
Well played.
Again, nice and full, but just in the slot to be picked off. 2 runs wide of mid-on.
Very good fielding by YM. Obviously, they knew that the girl who went chasing after it wasn't going to get it in from that distance, so 2 fielders going out getting the ball in as quickly as they can.
Good bit of teamwork. In comes Emma McAvoy again. Again, it's a nice full length. But
Ooh, a big swing and a miss. And the keeper, actually, Siwan Woods, took the bails off there and appealed to the square leg umpire for a stumping. Very quick thinking of her.
yeah. Good work there by Siwan Woods. Just keeping the batter on her toes. And, Emma McAvoy again gets a lovely full length ball, just swings away slightly and misses the off stump just narrowly. This is good bowling from Emma McAvoy at the death.
It's super bowling. Last over, super bowling by Emma. Did that bounce over the stumps? A little bit of lift over the stumps.
Didn't quite get her length right that time, Emma. It's a full stop on the leg, full toss on the leg stump.
Oh,
and they took a very risky second run and got away with it.
They did.
Unfortunately, Siwan Woods couldn't take the bails off. The throw wasn't quite close enough to the stumps. 2 runs and we're on 112 for 5.
Again, it shows what happens if you put the fielders under pressure, put the wicket keeper under pressure.
Yeah.
Took her eye off the ball, took her eye off the stumps.
Full toss on a leg stump. Bowler gets away with it slightly, just the single. And there's 1 ball left in the innings by my count. The 2 batsmen have a little conflab in the middle of the pitch. What would you imagine they're saying, Janice?
Hit it and run. Whatever happens, run.
Head down, keep running. Unfortunately, that's a wide ball, so not quite the end of the innings.
Again, well done by Siwan Woods, the wicketkeeper. She's keeping Elena McGrath honest, not letting her stray outside her stumps.
Total goes on to 116. Just too short of my prediction, Janice.
Yes, okay, Peter. You were right. I was wrong.
Well, we'll see.
That's better. The umpires had a little chat there. I'm not sure, obviously, why. And now the stumps are being realigned. And we're ready to go again.
Last ball of the innings from Emma McAvoy. Unfortunately, it's wide again.
Emma's tired, I think. It's been a long spell in the field for these girls. I think she just needs to just take a breath. reorganise her run up just to get her line back on track.
Yeah. That's a better line.
Oh, again,
And
a
a
direct hit. She
single.
could have been out, but that's the end of the innings.
The
Leinster finish on 119 for 5 of their allotted 20 overs in this Academy Plus Women's Minor Cup Final.
And that's a very competitive total. You'd have to think Janice Leinster will be happy with that. Looking back through their innings, they were 51 for 3 at the midpoint. So they've accelerated in the second half of the innings.
Sophia Nolte remains unbeaten on 32, with Elena McGrath 9 not out.
So great support there from Elena McGrath for Sophia Nolte, who finishes
With the final over
on 31 not out.
for 33 of her 5 overs.
And we'll just have a look at the bowling figures shortly. So, Kate McAvoy, the main strike bowler, went for 21 for her from her 5 overs, 1 for 21. Very impressive. Her sister Emma has gone for
So Leinster score 119 for 5 off their 20 overs. Filter and Sophia Nolte's 32 not out.
she's gone for a few runs at the end there, which has affected her figures. Amelia Flanagan 1 for 27 from her allotment.
Kate McAvoy taking 1 for 21 off her 5 overs.
Kate McAvoy,
YMCA will take 100
sorry, Kate Woods being very economical from her spell.
Minor Cup final here at
And Lucy
Sydney
Deacon, while she was a little bit expensive, she was operating with an injury to her hand after taking a very firm hit into the leg side earlier in the innings. I would say probably advantage Leinster at this moment, just slightly though. We're set up for a very exciting run chase from YM as they need to score 120 to win.
Yeah. We'll be back shortly for the second innings where YMCA seconds need 120 to win this Academy Plus Women's Minor Cup Final here in Pembroke Cricket Club. Talk to you shortly.
Hello and welcome back to Pembroke Cricket Club for the second innings of the Academy Plus Leinster Women's Minor Cup final. We have YMCA batting second. They're chasing 119 and Leinster Cricket Club are taking the field. And I'm joined by Peter O'Reilly.
Hey Isabel, an interesting game we've got in our hands here. About an hour and a bit ago you reckoned that 120 was par score. You weren't far away.
Yeah, it's nice to be right once in 50. But well, we'll see. I guess we'll see by the second innings whether that's a par score or above or below. It really just depends on what YMCA can do.
The fielding side, Leinster, led by their captain, Joanna Loughran.
So the umpire is taking the field. Philip Deacon and Conor McElhenney. We also have two fantastic scorers, Anne Deacon doing the score for YMCA and Sue Keneally for Leinster. These are the people we can't have these finals without, and of course our sponsors, Academy Plus. So a very talented youngster, Katie Dillon, to open the bowling from the Willfield road end. She bowls a way swing at a decent pace.
Zoe Hoffman is on strike, and her opening partner is Jess Priestley.
And she strikes first up. That's a fantastic delivery from Katie Dillon. She bowls the perfect away swinger's line, leg stump, takes it away and takes the middle stump. Disappointing for Zoe Hoffman.
Very disappointing, but you've got to say that's a very impressive start. As you say, lovely high action. Katie Dillon with a lovely wrist action also. Perfect for a way swing and just seemed to hit the top of off. You couldn't really ask for much more from your first delivery.
Now it's an opening batter's nightmare. They usually want to face the first ball because it tends to be a loosener, but there was no loosener needed there for Katie Dillon. It's right on the money straight away.
And
so Shun Woods comes out to the middle a little earlier than she might have hoped as Zoe Hoffman departs for a duck. And I apologise. The scorer for YMCA is Joyce Richardson. So herself and Sue Keneally keeping the score on for this Academy Plus Leinster Women's Cup final. Here we have the replay. She's just taken middle and off, halfway up. Unfortunately, Zoe Hoffman has just moved away to the leg side and hasn't given herself a chance to hit that one really.
yeah, that required a straight bat. Here comes Katie Dillon again.
Down leg side this time, but she gets away with that one. Really competitive player, Katie Dillon. She'll be annoyed with anything she does wrong, and she's very hard on herself, but in a good way where it makes her improve as opposed to freeze, as can happen to other players. A hopeful appeal, but I think that's taking the pad of Shun Woods.
That's what you call a textbook bowling action. It's something out of the old MCC coaching book. Lovely back foot parallel with the popping crease, high front arm, high bowling arm, really making use of her height.
Really good length there from Katie Dillon. She's come to the game late actually, Peter. She's only played for, I think, just over a year. She's
Really?
a really good sportswoman, plays lots of different sports, hockey, and I think Gaelic football and camogie, but I could be wrong on that, but I know she plays a number of sports. Oh, half chance there from Katie. Oh, it might be a crowd catch, but no, she looks disappointed enough that it was a drop catch from Katie Dillon.
It's hard to know whether there was a bump ball there or not, but it certainly was hit back firmly. Obviously a quick learner, Katie Dillon, if she's only a year into cricket.
An appeal from Katie Dillon there to finish the over. A successful one for Leinster. They've taken their first wicket and she's gone for no runs in that first over, so 0 for 1 from 1. Yeah, you're right. She is a really quick learner, Katie Dillon. Really thinks about the game. Very unusual level of knowledge for how long she's played. Nothing gets by her, and she's constantly learning. So a bright talent for the future.
Did you play lots of sports when you were younger? And do you think it's a good thing for girls to play as many sports as possible?
I did play a good few sports. I think the more sports you play, the more awareness you get of just spatial relations, different tactics, problem solving. I played hockey and basketball. I'm actually very disappointed I didn't play any Irish games growing up, but it just wasn't really in my area.
Sure.
None of my friends played it, so I love when the girls come in. They've played Gaelic football in Camogie. It just means they are really, really good sports people. So Sophia Nulty starts with one on the stumps, but it's hit the pad of Jessica Priestley, and they scamper through for one. So Sophia Nulty, the top run scorer in the first innings with 32 not out. She's helped propel Leinster to this very competitive total of 119.
Yeah, very, very vital innings in terms of accelerating in the second half of the innings. Sophia, her running was very positive, her calling was very positive, and she hit the ball cleanly as well.
Another away swing bowler, Sophia. She actually bowls better when she has a higher action, but she likes to bowl fast, so sometimes her action can go a little bit slingy.
Yeah.
So hopefully she finds her way back to that higher arm action. A little bit of a sore shoulder, possibly. She's rolling them around, but
she has a quick arm, all right. That's a better line. Leinster definitely on top here. That we've only had, we have had a run, haven't we? We've had an extra, or are we still?
No, we definitely had a run at the start of this over, so the scoreboard should show 1. It's 1 for 1 from 1.3. A looser one there. Joanna Loughran has done fantastically behind the stumps to stop that from running to the boundary, but it's called a no ball. By Philip Deacon, who's calling from the, I'm going to call it the Sydney Parade end, but no doubt Janice will be annoyed at me. But so Jessica Priestley to face up again.
Ball just flying through, but well taken by Joanna Loughran, talented keeper.
She recently kept wicket for the Irish under-15s, but that kind of line is almost impossible to hit. Just tight to leg stump, nice and full. That's well bowled by Sophia Nulty. Well kept out by Jessica Priestley.
Nice straight bat. We're still looking for our YMCA, still looking for their first runs off the bat. This has been an impressive opening attack from Leinster, Katie Dillon and Sophia Nulty.
And an early wicket for Sophia Nulty. That's got through the defences of Jessica. And a second wicket falls for YMCA, who are in disarray at 3 for 2.
Yes, unfortunately for Jess Priestley, that was a shot made more in hope than in expectation. Across the line of a straight ball early in the innings, asking for trouble.
Second wicket for Leinster as Sophia Nulty bowled Jessica Priestley. YMCA 3 for 2.
Big pressure on Kate McAvoy now. Here we have the replay. As you can see, it's pitched just outside off, come back in to take off stump, and she was just caught in two minds there, I think, Jessica Priestley. She thought it was shorter than it actually was and went with a cross-bat shot. And I feel like on this wicket, especially after the bit of rain we've had around, playing with a straight bat is the way to go, especially early on, Peter.
Yeah, it's about occupying the crease at this stage. There's not quite so much pressure to score runs quickly. Just keep the scoreboard ticking over by all means, but occupation is what is the name of the game at this stage, especially with 2 early wickets now. As you say, Isabel, pressure on Kate McAvoy now to build a platform.
So So third over begins now. Katie Dillon. And that one's down leg again. Siún Woods has been unable to make contact with any of those balls down leg as of yet, but I think that YMCA can probably learn from how Leinster did it in their first innings when they lost a couple of wickets, and they lost Steph Woods and Orla Bagnall, and we had 2 new batters at the crease. The footer one again down leg side, but again Siún Woods unable to make contact. Joanna Loughran doing great work behind the stumps there.
Yeah, at 51 for 3, midway through the Leinster innings, I think YM would have been feeling pretty confident of restricting Leinster to maybe to 2 figures, but it's all about partnerships, and we saw that.
A little bit straighter there from Katie Dillon, and Siún Woods finds that one easier to hit to the leg side as the ball's passed off from Elena, who started at 45 to the square leg fielder. That is Rianne Slevin. So she'll be trying to get the ball a little bit straighter here, Katie Dillon. The ball not perhaps swinging as much as she would be used to. And that one chipped over the infield. It's well around there by the Leinster fielder.
You notice how vocal Leinster are in the field in support of each other. They've also got the support of their senior team, who are coming down for the senior final later on.
It's well bowled, and she's lucky to get an inside edge on that one there. Siún Woods. Yeah, it's a feature of Leinster's entire club, really, on the women's side anyway, that they are very vocal in the field. So this team no different. That's well picked up by Siún Woods into the leg side, but again well fielded on the leg side. Right there by Rianne Slevin. That brings up about the end of the third over, and with 2 wickets down, YMCA find themselves on 6. So they've got it all to do here, YMCA.
They do. I think Siún at least will feel some confidence from the fact that she picked that ball off of not particularly easy length.
So here we have the partnership so far, or the batting card so far. Zoe Hoffman and Jessica Priestley not troubling the scores, and we have Siún Woods and Kate McAvoy at the crease on 3 and 1 respectively. So a lot of work falls to them if YMCA are to make a comeback in this game.
Yeah, a lot of responsibility on this pair of shoulders.
A somewhat hopeful appeal from Sophia Nulty there. And umpire Philip Deacon doesn't take long in saying not out. I think it's great that these girls get an opportunity at such a young age to be in these pressure situations. And that's the great thing about having minor cup finals. Oh, that's almost snuck under. Siún Woods.
Correcting herself there with her replay of the shot, telling herself to play with a straighter bat on leg stump, and that's reasonable thinking from her point of view. The bowling has been impressively tight this far, even though I thought YMCA bowled pretty well. They still delivered 20 odd wides, which is a lot of runs to give up.
I think she's got away with that one. Just as you say, it's very difficult to hit that one quite far away, and the extra pace that Sophia has means that's a very difficult ball to score off.
Yeah, bit of generosity there from umpire Deacon, perhaps.
Oh, sharp work from Joanna Loughran behind the stumps there means that one hasn't raced away to the boundary. Although she does give away one by, she's done a great job there. Not easy keeping on this wicket right now because it's skidding through from those fuller deliveries down leg from Sophia Nulty.
I remember umpiring a game Joanna was playing in a season ago, maybe on a mat up in Leinster where the ball was bouncing quite high, and she was willing to come up and stand up to the stumps. She's obviously a brave keeper. It's an important characteristic for anybody who wants to have a go at playing behind the stumps.
Yeah, and you know that added element of coming up to the stumps means that the batters have to be careful about coming out of their crease. So it's an important aspect if Leinster do have any slow bowlers.
At the moment, their seamers are doing pretty well.
Shorter one, and it's popped up to extra cover, but Sophia Nulty unable to get there. She was looking for a cotton bowl there to finish out her second over. But that YMCA still in some trouble here at 7 for 2.
Yeah, runs finding it, proving very hard to come by. That's twice that Kate McAvoy's actually been a little bit unlucky. She's chipped the ball up into the ring and the ball has fallen safely. I think at this stage you've got to commend Leinster's opening attack. They look like two bowlers who know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, they do. They've been learning a lot this summer, I think, playing on this team and then also up into the Leinster 2s and 1s. It's well bowled, but carved away over the point fielder by Siún Woods. Just a single as that's well chased down by Orla Bagnall. And good work from Joanna, again, our wicketkeeper, who has tidied that throw up.
Yes, so far Leinster's out cricket looks generally pretty tidy. Even just small things like the way they get the ball back from the keeper to the bowler. It all looks very professional.
It's very well bowled again, Katie. I think that at the pace she's bowling, the length that she's bowling very consistently here means it's quite difficult for Woods and McAvoy to score.
Yeah. These girls will have been encouraged. That's another dot ball there. They'll have been encouraged to wait for the bad ball to put it away, but sometimes if you're waiting a bit long for that bad ball to materialise, it can get a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, there haven't been too many so far from this Leinster opening pair. And just as we say it, Katie Dillon delivers a wide. But I'd like to see Kate McAvoy moving her back foot across a little bit more for those wider ones, because there's a lot of spare space out there on the offside. Oh, and it's a bit of miscommunication. John Loughran is out like a shot from behind the stumps, and with the glove off, has a shot at the bowler's end. Excellent from her. Really quick thinking.
She strikes me as one of those keepers that lets the batter know that she's there, puts it, add a bit of pressure on, and there's the non-striker as well being put under pressure. Siún Woods very keen to get down on strike, but put back in her box pretty quickly.
It's well bowled again, and Kate McAvoy showing some frustration there by moving to square leg.
The body language is telling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so important, isn't it, to not let the bowler know how you're feeling, and unfortunately Katie Dillon will feel very much on top right now.
Is that like a foot movement you were talking about again? But a beautiful line, a nice length, nice and full. Bowlers on top here at Sydney Parade. 9 for 2 after 5 overs.
So a good spring in the step of all the Leinster players. And there we have the bowling cards so far. Katie Dillon and Sophia Nulty doing a fantastic job so far. Each taking a wicket and very miserly with their bowling figures. Now we have a change.
Change of bowling at the Sydney Parade end, number 77, Rhiann Slevin.
So Rhiann Slevin coming into the attack in place of Sophia Nulty. Can she take a wicket in her first over, just like the other two? That's a looser ball straight away. Siún Woods gets onto that, but it's really good fielding in the deep by Katie Dillon. You just can't keep her out of the game.
It's a decent arm as well from the long boundary. Notice that there's somebody looking after her with a giving her some water on, giving Katie Dillon some water on the boundary as well. They're very well organised, this Leinster team.
That's Jenny Sparrow. She's a very thoughtful player. She'll be playing in the final later on. But down the leg side that time, but Kate McAvoy unable to latch onto it. I'm surprised that the Leinster team haven't put that fine leg down on the boundary. There have been a few deliveries down the leg side that could easily have been clipped away for 4, and it just seems an unnecessary attacking field.
That's well bowled there from Rianne Slevin, nice and full again on the leg stump.
Once again, Joanna Loughran straight after the ball ensures it's only 1 run. Yeah, I'd really like to see this fielder in fine leg. It's Elena McGrath down just on the boundary, protecting it just for those odd loose balls that could easily just run away to the boundary.
Yeah, if you think about the number of runs that were scored down there in the first innings.
And chipped over mid-wicket. They'll no doubt look to come back for 2, but Kate McAvoy turning blind. She may have made the wrong choice there. Oh, but the throw not good enough. And she comes back safely for 2.
Just about safely, yep. There's a bit of pressure on there.
A better throw, and I think she would have been curtains there.
If I'm having seen Siún Woods bat, I know she'll be feeling the need to get on with it now to try and get the scoreboard ticking. It's about picking the right ball. She did so there. Just 1 chipped into the onside.
Yeah, Steph Woods doing the work there. She's dropped onto the circle now, Steph Woods, I notice. So obviously thinks there's a chance for a catch. A really nice day down here in Pembroke Cricket Club. If you're around the area, please do drop in. Oh, you just wonder how that one's missed the stumps. Joanna Loughran obviously thought it was going to hit. And Lena McGrath gives chase, keeps it to 1 run, but lucky there for Kate McAvoy, who again shows her discomfort with her body language as we come to the end of the 6th over. YMCA 15 for 2.
Yes, I think Joanna Loughran there with that last ball made the cardinal wicket-keeping error of assuming the ball was going to hit the stumps like we did. That's what young keepers are all told. Assume that every ball is coming to you and you're always in the game.
So we have another change of bowling at the Wheelfield Road end. Orla Bagnall coming on to bowl. Orla Bagnall looks like someone you'd want in your team. She's opened the batting, made a good 16 runs up the top of the order, and now she's coming on as second change.
She's a proper all-rounder, Orla Bagnall.
A little bit of a better shot from Kate McAvoy there. She still doesn't look happy with herself, but she's made decent contact there to the fielder at mid-off. Good start from Orla Bagnall, though. Bit of a difference between the two teams. Leinster have tended to be on the money straight away when they've come on for a change of bowling. Oh, and a sharp chance. And she's bowled.
Yes, like me, Isabel, I think you thought that had taken the outside edge, but it actually clipped the top of off.
I certainly did. I think Joanna Loughran looking to catch it threw me off a little bit there, but I see my eyes are getting a bit older than I thought they had. That's well bowled straight away from Orla Bagnall, and she's the 3rd bowler of the day to take a wicket in her first over.
Nice stat. Like your work there, Isabel. But you're right. That's what's really outstanding about, or most noticeable about Leinster's bowling, is that they're on the mark from the beginning. No such thing as a loosener.
I think she's actually taken her own off stump there, because having watched the replay just now, the ball was very far away from the stumps. So
hit wicket, do you think?
We'll have to confirm that, but yeah, the ball's missed the stumps by a good foot. So here we have it again. Yeah, It seems that Kate McAvoy must have hit around stumps, and you can see kind of from her disgust at herself that that's what's in fact happened. So an unlucky way to get out. She must have been batting quite deep in her crease and then decided to go back and across as well. So she'll be disappointed by that. It's a tough lesson to learn, but it's one that you don't really tend to repeat once you've done it once.
No, you wouldn't want it. You wouldn't wish it on somebody that it would happen in a cup final, unfortunately. So all the pressure on YM now. Lucy Deacon, the skipper, is on strike, number 5.
A little edge to what can only be called a long stop there. And she's straight off the mark here, Lucy Deacon. She's been very effective straight away, Orla Bagnall. So you'd have to say a lot of the pressure for winning this game for YMCA falls on the young shoulders of Siún Woods.
Yes, very competitive young lady, Siún Woods. She'll be up for it if nothing else.
I like the aggression that Orla Bagnall bowls with. She's probably bowling a little bit short, but she certainly tries to bowl as fast as she can, and she's getting as much out of this wicket as there is to be got out of it.
Yeah. So often with the young bowlers, you see people decelerating as they come in. She attacks the crease, which is what you want to see.
That's well worked away by Woods. Stopped in short fine leg by Elena McGrath. Hits the stumps. That's the second time they've hit the stumps in a return throw while the batter is already in their crease.
Yeah, the sort of thing that will annoy an umpire perhaps, but also sends out a message to the batting team. Maybe you should think twice about going for a second run here.
Yeah.
It's all very impressive. There's lots of pressure being applied by Leinster.
Little fuller from Orla Bagnall, but Lucy Deacon unable to get onto that one, and that brings about the end of over number 7. YMCA 17 for 3. Thank Peter O'Reilly for his thoughts, and welcome back, Janice.
Hey, Izzy, how are you?
Good, thank you.
It just shows the benefit of having runs on the board, doesn't it? I think they've been just. It's the psychological advantage for Leinster of having 119 runs on the board has just worked its way into YM, and they've just been strangled, I think, by that.
Yeah, there's also the fact that the Leinster bowlers have been on the money straight from the word go. Every one of them, as they've come on, has bowled really, really well.
I agree completely, but I think YM are trying to hit the leather off the ball, whereas if they'd knocked the ball around a bit, they possibly could have taken the pressure off.
It's in the air. Sophia Nulty goes under it, and that's another wicket. Siún Woods, unfortunately for YMCA, is caught in the cover area by Sophia Nulty off the bowling of Rianne Slevin. She's got to go. It's Siún Woods out for 9.
Yeah, it's a wicket that has been again brought by the pressure that's being put to bear by the bowling and by the fact that the chase that they need 120 runs. I think if YM had sort of just worked the ball around the wicket, maybe for the first 2, 3, 4 overs, they would have taken the pressure off. They would have got something on the board. It's now a very difficult uphill battle.
Yeah, it's a difficult learning experience for these young YMCA players as Amy Collins goes out to join her skipper Lucy Deacon. And you'd have to think that this is all but wrapped up at this point. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see a really good partnership between these two. Amy and Lucy Deacon. I hope they see this as a really good challenge and that they start working the ball around. But Rianne Slevin taking that 4th wicket and kind of taking away their attacking option of Siún Woods means that Leinster are very much on top here.
Yeah, it is a case now for YM of circle the wagons, let's get some runs on the board, work in partnerships, develop partnerships.
That's well played through the offside by Lucy Deacon. She's got bisected the point and cover field. There's an excellent fielding from Sophia Nulty. Big appeal, but not out.
What a super bit of
says
cricket.
umpire Conor McElhinney. Yeah, I don't think I'd be taking on Sophia Nutty's throw. She's an excellent fielder, but it was well judged in the end.
What a super bit of cricket. The ball was a little bit outside the off stump, but well hit out towards the cover boundary. Brilliantly fielded, and the throw was inch perfect to the keeper over the stumps.
Another wider delivery from Rianne. Yeah, I think actually what did for the run out in the end was that it was so close to the stumps. Joanna Loughran thought it was going to hit them, and she kind of backed away from the stumps, and then therefore wasn't close enough to take the bails when she collected the ball.
Leinster are very impressive in the field. They've got a lot of chat going on. They're very busy. They're quick between the overs. It's very impressive.
It's a good appeal, but not out. Says Philip Deacon. Fuller length there from Rianne 7.
Yeah, it was probably going down leg. I think it was a super appeal by the wicketkeeper. She certainly tried to put the umpire under pressure. Very loud. Arms in the air. Big appeal.
Dab to third man. Oh, and the pressure of the quick single means that the fielder has missed the ball, but Orla Bagnall gives chase, and she'll probably keep this to 2. Yeah, very good teamwork there from the Leinster fielders as Elaine McGrath comes across from the fine leg to offer a cut-off and make sure that the ball gets in nice and quickly to the stumps.
Yes, very good cricket from the long boundary, the long third man boundary. It had to take 2 fielders to get it in, but they were well organised. They knew that, and they got it in as quickly as possible.
Another ball down leg, but again unable to make contact. Lucy Deacon. So we were talking in the first innings, Janice, about what a power score was, and you mentioned possibly 80-90. I think that you might be right. That is a power score, and Leinster went well above with their 119. Thanks in no small part to Sophia Nulty. That's again well bowled, but again down the leg side.
Yes, I think we'll probably find that was an excellent score by Leinster, and certainly it was well above what you would expect at this level, but again, not to take it away from this level, the standard of cricket that we're seeing here in this Academy Plus Minor Cup final is excellent, superb.
The standard cricket's been fantastic down here at Pembroke, and really you just say they're a little bit more inexperienced, maybe a little bit less power than we'll see later on when we do have the Academy Plus Leinster Women's Senior Cup final. It's going to be between the same opposition. As we enter the 9th over, the score is 22 for 4, and Orla Bagnall returns for her 2nd over. Well called there from the skipper.
Yes, a good run. It was a bye. I think Orla got a little bit of swing there, I think, to take it away from the wicketkeeper.
Definitely looks like the wind took that one. The wind is picking up here a little bit, and it looks like Orla Bagnall is struggling a little bit and running into that wind. It's kind of coming diagonally across the ground at her. But she remarks her run up, and she'll reset, no doubt.
You know, that's terrific for a young bowler to realise that if she's getting a little bit wayward, you just take a second and remark your run up. That's very impressive from her. She is 16. She's only 16.
That's well bowled. Bit of swing. Well fielded in mid-wicket by Steph Woods.
As a result of her remarking her run up, her line was perfect and her length was excellent.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes a deep breath. You just tie your shoelace. Just do something to break up the over and reset your mind in those kind of occasions. Another short delivery this time. This time Lucy Deacon manages to get it between the 2 fielders. Sophia Nulty giving chase from square leg. A good throw into the bowler's end, but Amy Collins is able to make her ground without much trouble.
Yeah, they've got Leinster have great faith in Orla Bagnall's bowling. She has her skipper as well. They've got no sweeper out on the leg side, but again, YM only got 2 for that. It was a good chase, good throw in. This is very exceptional fielding by Leinster. They're strangling YM a little.
Oh, and a loose delivery. That one's gone over the batswoman's head for a no ball. And things a little bit wayward this over compared to the previous one for Orla Bagnall. And the experienced Keith O'Brien just goes over, puts the hand around the shoulder. It's really good from cricket from Leinster. Another fuller delivery outside the off stump, goes for another wide. She's just not getting through the crease as she was in the first over. We had been commenting, Peter and I, on how she was hitting the deck really hard. Orla Bagnall, she's coming around the wicket now, presumably to finish her action, but also to counteract that away swing.
Again, a good decision. You can see other members of the bowling unit chatting to her. She's coming around the wicket to counteract the wind, I think.
Unfortunately, the wind hasn't taken it that time. But she's just stopping at the crease. You'll notice after she bowls the ball, she's kind of standing one step after she's released the ball, which just means you're not quite getting through your action. So if she can somehow figure that out, or if someone can have a quiet word in the ear. A very hopeful appeal there as it pitches outside leg and hits the pad outside leg, but it brings about the end of the 9th over for Orla Bagnall. Probably the most wayward of the innings so far, but still hasn't gone too badly as YMCA are 29 for 4.
Yeah, their YM are a little behind the 8 ball, but as you said earlier, it's the quality of the bowling from Leinster, and certainly the quality of the fielding. The fielders are backing up their bowlers. They're quick between they're quick between the overs. They're into position quickly and sort of rushing through the overs. So YM are very much under pressure.
So we have Amy Collins facing just her second delivery. She asked for guard. Rhian Slevin returning for her 3rd over. A little bit of away movement early on. That's a beautiful delivery. Amy Collins not quite getting into line and goes through to the keeper.
Yeah, she's nice and tall, Rhiannon Slevin. She's tall. She's got a nice tall action. It really is nice to see.
Again, just finding a good channel outside off where Collins is unable to make contact. And you just feel like 1 or 2 dot balls and the YMCA players will start feeling a lot of pressure because it's only 11 overs to go and they need a lot more runs on the board, 90. A rare mistake behind the stumps from Joanna Loughran, but Elena McGrath tidies up and it's just 1 bite. I'm excited to see the final later on, Janice. It's 2 of the titans of Leinster cricket, YMCA and Leinster taking each other on in the cup final.
Yeah, it's going to be a top-notch game. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope there's a big crowd here for them. But yes, Leinster and YM are in the top 3 of the senior league. Oh,
a fantastic wicket from Rhian Slevin, and you'd have to say that she deserves that, having bowled really, really well that over. Very full delivery, and Lucy Deakin trying to get some runs on the board. She's played across the line again, and she'll have to make her way back for 7.
yeah, super ball straight down the wicket to wicket, well pitched up, took middle stump out of the ground. A super ball. Yeah, just thinking about the game later on, it is, as you say, we're looking at the replay.
Really full, and you have the feeling Lucy Deakin had decided before that ball that she was going to have to score from it, and she got caught in 2 minds. But unfortunate for her, YMCA 5 wickets down, and their women's ones team down in the nets at the moment, just warming up. They'll be hoping to put on a slightly better performance with the bat later on, no doubt.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a cracking game. As you say, they're 2 titans of the women's game. They're 2nd and 3rd in the league behind Clontarf, but it's very tight, and they've representatives all across it at all age groups playing. I'm really looking forward to it. If you're in the area, come on down. You can get a coffee or something stronger on Friday if you fancy that here. The bar is open, and hopefully a little bit of sunshine. And it's Friday, women's cricket.
A great ball first up there again from Rhian Slevin. as Emma McAvoy is well up to the task. Yeah, I'm really excited to see some of the players that are going to be on show here later. And you can't really look past Gabby Lewis when it comes to batting. She's ready and raring to go. I've just seen her inside. She's relaxing watching this final as well. Well taken behind the stunts from Joanna Loughran. The end of a very successful 10th over there from Jan Slevin as she brings that over to a close. The score is 30 for 5.
Yeah, for the senior game, all the Irish representatives are back from a quadrangular tournament in Holland, where they have been honing their skills before the World Cup T20 qualifiers at the end of the month in Scotland. And I'm really looking forward to see them playing here against each other. The final was moved by Cricket Leinster, which was a terrific decision, so that these players were available to play in the Academy Senior Women's Final. It is the top competition of women's cricket in Ireland and women's club cricket in Ireland, and it's great to see these players able to play.
We have a change of bowling at the Wheelfield Road end. It's Caoimhe O'Brien to come on. She replaces Orla Bagnall. Amy Collins to face. Tries to work to leg side, gets an edge, goes to third man, and Emma McAvoy makes her ground easy enough. Yeah, plenty of talent on show later on this evening. We'll have the Irish skipper Laura Delaney taking on with other international teammates. She'll be taking on the likes of Robin and Gabby Lewis, and Lucy O'Reilly's back in town as well. Really well bowled from Caoimhe O'Brien there. She's a short action and short run up, and doesn't bowl the quickest, but she is so tall, Caoimhe O'Brien. It's such an advantage for her when she's bowling if she gets it on a good length. Across the line for Emma McAvoy, but she's got some joy from it. They're looking for two. Good throw from Sophia Nolte. Oh, and again, it's just about missed the stumps, and Caoimhe O'Brien's unable to collect the return throw. She's disappointed with herself, but you have to say well done to Sophia Nolte. She's been right on the money with every throw from that boundary.
Absolutely. She's got a very big arm. There's a good 55, 60 yards out there to the boundary. She's right in over the stumps.
Slightly leg side this time, goes to 45. Great pick up and throw from Elena McGrath, but she looks like she's hurt her shoulder a little bit there in the throw. Well, no one told Emma McAvoy this game was gone, so she's making a good fist of chasing these runs down, which is fantastic to see. Amy Collins facing up again. That's well played to extra cover, but Rianne Slevin makes a good stop.
Yes, it is. The YM bats are not going to lie down and roll over here, which is great to see. It is a steep learning curve when you're chasing 120 and you're 34 for 5. But you do have to dig in and let's get some more runs on the board.
A fuller delivery. A no ball call by Conor McElhinney here at the Wheelfield Road end. Oh, and they're going to take a sneaky run as that ball is returned rather sloppily to the bowler's end. Umpires are looking at each other, I think, deciding whether they'll allow that run to stand, but it's a legal run.
It's an interesting call. At what point was the ball dead? Obviously,
Well,
it wasn't.
I don't know if they were trying to run someone out at the bowler's end, but it's given as a bye, and quite rightly so. Loose ball down the leg side, and she's just helped that around the corner towards the fine leg boundary. It won't make it won't make it all the way there, but two valuable runs for Emma McAvoy, and that brings about the end of the 11th over, as YMCA are 36 for 5.
Yeah, they're doing well, these two, and they're getting great encouragement from their teammates in the dugout. Again, very impressed with Caoimhe O'Brien's bowling. She's very tall and she's bowling using her full height, which is nice.
Yeah, you wonder how much of an effect that silly run on the 5th ball of the over would have had on her, and she bowled it a somewhat unusual wayward ball down the leg side to finish out her over. But we have the return now of Sophia Nolte at the St John's Road end.
Sophia. It wouldn't be like bowlers to get ratty on an overthrow, would it?
Straight on the money again, Sophia Nolte. She's bowled that really full and straight, taken off stump, and unfortunately for Amy Collins, she's unable to get any bat on that, and it's just a good day for Sophia Nolte all round.
Yeah, both our wickets have been bowled. She's bowling from stump to stump. And again, you'll be told by coaches left, right and centre, if you can bowl stump to stump, the batsmen have to play the shots. They have to, sometimes they miss. Unfortunately, speaking as a batter, sometimes they miss and you're going to get the wickets. The bat has to work for their shots.
And here we have the replay again. Straight on the money, as we said. Amy Collins moving to leg side, perhaps worried about being hit in the foot. And she's unable to keep that one out.
Sophia Nolte with her second wicket there. Amy Collins departs. YMCA 38 for 6.
It's been a feature of their attack today, as we've mentioned a few times. Leinster, straight on the money. No matter who the captain has asked to bowl, they've been straight on the money and they're first over. So Sophia Nolte having a good day out, 32 not out, and now her second wicket. Young Kate Woods comes to the wicket with a mountain to climb. And what a great experience for the 13-year-old. Oh, it's a quick full one straight away. And Emma McAvoy makes sure she gets down the other end nice and quickly. Given as a leg by umpire Deacon.
Yeah, well done her. A little nudge to leg, that's fine. But the fielder here at backward square or short fine leg, sort of, they're not afraid to take a shy at the stumps, the Leinster fielders as well, which sort of keeps the batsmen on their toes.
That's nicely played into the leg side by Emma McAvoy. Katie Dillon has an excellent throw, so they won't be able to come back for the second that time. Yeah, as you said, they do like to throw at the stumps, Leinster, and what I really noticed that time when Elena McGrath had a shot at the stumps was the bowler, straight after bowling, continued on her follow-through and backed up the wicketkeeper, which is very, very impressive thinking from the Leinster bowler. Full toss that time, and it's clipped away down to the leg side boundary. McGrath gives chase, but she won't chase that one down as it goes for 4. One of the few that YMCA have scored today.
Yeah, super shot. The bowler just straight down the leg side, and a lovely flick of the wrist to help the ball down to third man and over the ropes for 4.
Fine leg.
Fine leg, and over the ropes for 4.
Yeah, the extra pace of Sophia Nolte just costing her there. And I had mentioned before that I'd like to see that fine leg fielder on the boundary. Joanna Loughran's just pushing her back out now, but probably too late. No, she's not. She's only a few yards outside the circle, so better length, but flicked away again, and this time it goes between square leg and 45. Bugbear of mine is when you have a fielder who's not saving 1 and she's not saving 4, so I'd like to see that fine leg fielder either saving 1 and in the circle or pushed out onto the boundary.
I wonder does the captain realise that she's in sort of that no man's land, or has she moved herself back?
No, she got pushed back just there, but before that delivery, and told to stop when she reached about 5 yards outside the circle. So a short ball outside off, and that's well played away on the offside by Emma McAvoy. And that's race to the backward square boundary. Well, just about gone over the rope. It's a long boundary out there, but the extra pace of Sophia Nolte means that it's reached the boundary, and Emma McAvoy is scoring as freely as anyone today.
Yeah, lovely full swing of the bat, a big flash of the blade, and she hit the ball to backward point over the rope for 4. That's her second boundary in a couple of balls. She's doing very well. That's great. She's showing great intent, and she's right. You can't let the bowlers settle. Take them on.
So that's 12 overs gone, and the score is 49 for 6. Emma McAvoy having a good go at this. Coming in at number 7, we have Quiva O'Brien returning again for her second over in a row on the Wellfield Road end. Kate Woods facing up. That's well bowled from Quiva O'Brien, and I noticed she's coming off her longer run this over.
There's a super ball. It was a good length. She seemed to get a way swing. The bat stepped forward to play the line she thought it was, and it went by her, swing and a miss.
A shorter delivery that time, but Kate Wood's unable to make use of it.
It's the thing with this at this level is that it's consistency is that we're looking for, you know. But again, if they could bowl everything on the spot, then they'd all be on the Irish team, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. Another short delivery, and again, Kate Woods will be unhappy with herself there that she hasn't made contact and sent that one to the boundary.
It's raining, is he?
Yeah.
It's coming down very heavily now. The crowd are making a run for it. The crowd are rushing for the pavilion, and I think the umpires are going to take the players off. So at the moment it is YMR 49 for 6 off 12, and they're chasing 119. So we will have to see what happens here.
Yeah, this game will reduce as they stay off the field. So in previous times they'll just continue to play and when the rain stops, but we will have reduced overs in this match.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. I presume is it Duckworth Lewis, Isabel? Do you know?
It will be Duckworth Lewis. As the rain just starts to get a bit heavier, and I think it's a good decision from the umpires to come off at this point.
Okay, the state of play is that we've come off for rain, and we will come back to you as soon as we go back on, and we'll let you know if there's a reduction in overs. So we'll chat shortly. Okay, everyone, welcome back to Pembroke Cricket Club, where we went off for an absolute deluge of rain. We had about 20 minutes where the heavens opened and the rain poured down on the wicket. You can see the ground staff are out working on the wicket. A little bit of rain got in under the covers, and unfortunately the Academy Plus Ladies Minor Cup final has been abandoned, and Leinster are deemed the winners by Duckworth Lewis by 4 wickets. Incredibly hard luck to YMCA, who were giving chase. They were chasing 119, and when we came off for rain, they were 49 for 6 off 12. So possibly a little bit of a mountain to climb. Congratulations to Leinster Women's third 11, who have won this competition now for the 5th time. We wish them well. Their batting was excellent, with Sophia Nulty getting 34 not out, and their bowling again was superb, with their bowlers Sophia Nulty getting 2 wickets, Rhiannon Slevin getting 2 wickets, and Kate Dillon and Caoimhe O'Brien and Orla Bagnall sharing wickets. A super afternoon's cricket. Commiserations to YMCA ladies seconds team, but well done again to Leinster, who are the winners of the Academy Plus Women's Minor Cup final. We'll be back later on at approximately 5:25 for the Senior Women's Cup final, sponsored by Academy Plus. So we'll talk to you then. Thank you for watching.